Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome and thank you for joining our training tonight. Do you know when we think about metabolic health, the first thing that comes to our mind is overweight and obesity. However, according to the latest statistic, less than 30% of normal weight individuals are metabolically healthy. That means a good 70% are not metabolically healthy. Moreover, there are individuals in the normal weight category. Metabolic health is closer than we think. A topic involves every body types and is for everyone. Join us as we learn more surprising truths on metabolic health. Over to you, Claudia.
Thank you, CK, for the great introduction into the topic that we'll be discussing at length today. So once again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for availing your time as we learn together on new surprising truth in the area of metabolic health. Okay, so this is a very important concept. Even though some people may think that, metabolic health is something that I've heard before, it seems boring, but it is indeed the foundational philosophy behind all of our Unicity products. And we will talk about why it is important to understand about this correctly. So give me a moment as I share my screen. Okay, so the first thing we want to establish is what is metabolic health. So I'm sure that this word seems to be pretty scientific. And many people have different associations and understanding to this term. So to one portion of the population, to them, metabolic health is all about losing weight. Okay, it's about losing the weight, weight loss, so on and so forth. And there is another portion of people that assume metabolic health is purely about the burning of fat, your basal metabolic rate, and etc. So both of these concepts are not completely wrong. Okay, they are not totally out of this concept. However, it is not an accurate or a full representative towards this word. Okay, in fact, metabolic health is so much more than that. So if we want to understand this correctly, we need to know, by definition, what does this root word metabolism mean? So, by pure definition, metabolism is simply millions of chemical reactions that happen every single second in our body. And at the same time, it's simultaneously creating or breaking down energy necessary for life, for survival. And metabolism encompasses functions such as energy production, building new tissues, elimination of waste, growth, and new cells. So if there's no metabolism that's happening in our body, we will not be able to survive. So this is the basis of metabolism. On top of that, metabolism also encompasses other sub-functions such as digestion, utilization of our nutrients, absorption, transport, and things like that. So all this also involve other hormones in the body, such as insulin. Okay, insulin is one of the primary hormones when it comes to any form of digestion. So usually and normally, our body would be able to control our blood sugars very well. But over time, with lifestyle and diet and stress, there's increase in numbers of people who are not able to manage their sugar level well. So there's sugar level, and then slowly it comes into weight gain. And especially on fat that is hiding in your organs, visceral obesity. And naturally, this will branch into fat that will circulate in your bloodstream. which is the low HDL and the high harmful cholesterol. Last but not least, it will also lead to hypertension. So all these indicators are the first signs in which the metabolism function is starting to deteriorate in our body. Okay, even so, many people don't think that this is relevant to them at all. Okay, for a normal person, they would think, well, since I'm not fat, I wear a size M, I don't have a big belly, so this problem does not concern me at all. I look like this guy. Okay, I'm fit. I can wear a S, a M, I look fine, and I totally don't have to worry about things that's unnecessary at all. Okay, so to identify and to determine if this is correct or not, we need to go to research. So according to latest research, they found the individuals who are underweight, less than 50%. And for those who are in the normal weight, less than 30% of them are metabolically healthy. Less than 50% of them who are underweight, okay, and less than 30%. Meaning to say, there's a good 70% of the population who are in the healthy body weight category are not healthy metabolically. Right? And it's getting worse. And you start to see a trend in which normal weight are starting to develop diseases that are usually commonly found in obese individuals. So more and more heart attacks, more and more diabetes, and more other types of terminal illnesses are happening amongst people who appear to be really healthy. And it's very common nowadays to see individual who has normal weight, who appears to be super healthy, appearing to have any one of these metabolic indicators that you see on your screen. Okay, especially cholesterol. Cholesterol is a big one. Look totally fine, but has very high cholesterol, visceral obesity, hypertension, and blood sugar. It is not so common, but especially this top 4 is very common. So I want to just go very briefly into the function of different types of cholesterol. All right, and because people don't really have an accurate understanding, especially on triglycerides. Now, HDL we know is a good one. Okay, it removes excess cholesterol. LDL is the bad one, and it sticks to your artery. But triglyceride, on the other hand, is another type that it is produced when we do not use the excess calories. It is like a temporary storage. And the dangerous part of this triglyceride is how small the particle is. So if you look at HDL and LDL, the size are relatively larger, but triglyceride is so tiny. And many people, when they look at their blood report, they only focus on these two, okay, especially LDL. Even though TG is high, people generally don't worry about it too much because people don't talk about it. So, okay lah, if high TG, it's fine, as long as my LDL is low, right? But TG is actually the more dangerous one because of how small it is. And it's so much easier for it to attach itself on the artery of our bloodstream. Okay? So when we look at blood report, total cholesterol is a combination of these three. So usually we will zoom into these 3 different aspects to give us a better picture of our blood lipid profile. So to better understand triglyceride, we want to know what it is exactly. So in fact, it is not such a foreign thing. Okay, if we zoom in into our fat cells, in fact, every single fat cells in the body is full of triglycerides. All right, it is inside. Okay, so our fat, if we zoom into the particle, it has triglyceride inside of it. So it is the most common fat in the body. All right, it's the most commonly found and it's also the smallest type. And Asians reportedly have a higher percent of body fat with a lower BMI. Caucasians, they are more okay with BMI of 25. But for Asian, the cutoff is actually 23, right? So we cannot have so high of a fat percentage compared to Caucasians. And interestingly, Chinese individuals, okay, tend to accumulate visceral fat easily, even among lean individuals. You can have muscle mass, you can have a good balance of both, but our ethnicity does put us at a higher risk of developing visceral fat. And metabolically unhealthy normal weight phenomenon was reported to be widespread and serious in Asian countries. This is because we always compare to Western population, right? Or the number one worst, we always refer to US. And because of that, there's not a lot of attention to this region. So because of this, there's a lot of undetected levels happening. Okay? Because we look very healthy, so I don't have to control much. I eat everything, I can metabolize fast, I can still fit into my genes. So because of this reason, all the more we neglect. We don't do anything, so we become more likely at risk to suffer from metabolic diseases compared to those who are in the Western counterpart. And we are also less likely to make any changes, okay, compared to if you are overweight. Okay, so a bit more information of where TG come from. What is the origin? Okay, food is one major source. And on top of that, our liver also make triglycerides. When we eat extra calories, specifically carbohydrate, okay, any form of refined carbs, like white rice, white bread, okay, any of these things will stimulate our liver to increase triglyceride production. And the more body fat you have, the higher your triglycerides level will be. Okay, it makes sense. On top of that, it's scary. Poor sleep and stress will trigger our body to produce even more triglycerides. Okay, as if our current situation is not worse enough. All these other lifestyle factors will trigger our body to create even more of this problem. So the only way to successfully counter the effects of triglycerides is introducing more muscles, right? Because our muscles, okay, if more muscle mass, you will reduce your fat. And our muscles are also the most sensitive to insulin compared to other parts of the body. So naturally, it will also allow our body to respond better to insulin. So let's look at the snapshot, okay, about what is currently happening in our Southeast Asia region. For high cholesterol, Singapore is 1 in 6 individuals. Malaysia is serious, okay, 3 in 6 is a good 50%. And Indonesia is also serious, 2 in 6. So this is the rough situation, okay, of cholesterol levels among us. If we look into sugar, okay, we don't fare any better also. 1 in 10, okay, the statistics don't look so bizarre compared to cholesterol, but if we zoom into the population, it's a lot. Okay, it's a good 400,000 people, and Singapore has a relatively small population of 5 million. Malaysia is 1 in 5. Okay, it may seem like it's just a small number, but if we look into the population, it's a lot. Okay, it's 3.9 million. Indonesia, okay, 1 in 15. Wow, it may look like, oh, it's just a very small issue. But if you look into the population size, it's 10 million people. All right, in Indonesia that is struggling to control healthy sugar levels. So what we see just now is just the surface, okay, about those who successfully know that they have diabetes, okay, which is in this orange category. So you see, there's a decent amount of people who don't even know that they are diabetes. Means it's undiagnosed. So whatever figures that we know just now, it could be just be 30% or 19. But if we add up to the numbers who do not know that they have diabetes, it's really a lot already, It's a good 40%. Okay, so it's the same with cholesterol. And many people, in fact, struggle with cholesterol and high sugar. So poor metabolic health will lead to a number of problems. Okay, we all know about diabetes, stroke, and heart attack. But today I will focus more into terminal illness, of how it will exacerbate serious health conditions such as cancer. So once our body fatness increase, okay, our body fat percentage increase, it will increase our risk of getting at least 13 types of cancer. 13 types. Okay, if this is not worse enough, our fat tissue is fine if it is just harmless. Okay, but it does not sit there. It is an active tissue that creates an environment that is perfect for cancer to thrive, especially the fat that is in this region, okay, that creates the kind of environment. So you may not understand how. So this is an illustration, okay? Whenever there is a lot of these are fat cells, okay? When there's a lot of it, it will stimulate growth factors and hormone. This is not the growth factor that we talk about in Neogen skincare, okay? This is the one that's harmful. So being above a healthy weight can cause inflammation. So once we have increased amount of these growth factors, okay, it will drive everything haywire and cause our cell to divide in an abnormal rate. So not just only it will divide, but it will highly likely lead to mutation, okay, genetic mutation. And when this continues, it can increase the chance of mutated cells to be produced. So it will increase the likelihood. And eventually, if this goes on for 5 years, 6 years, these mutated cells may develop into early stages of cancer. And all because of having too much of fat in the body, right? And just to give you a bit of context, what type of cancer? This is a snapshot of 13 types of cancer that would cause due to overweight. But now it's not limited to just being overweight. Okay, high fat percentage for a normal weight person can also increase the risk to all these type of cancer, which is almost every part of the body. Okay, from the breast, kidney, bowel, even a type of blood cancer is due to an excessive fat percentage. So what to do? We talk about how serious metabolic health is currently. What is the solution? So just to give you an answer straight to the point, we have to manage all these things, successfully reduce all these things to get us back into track. So of course, metabolic health is not complete without our 3 core bios, right? These are the reason why, you know, we are here today, and there's been one of our longest standing products. And for 3 different reasons. So we'll go into cholesterol first, okay? So to manage cholesterol is very difficult for many people. I'm sure you will also know. It is a problem that's very prevalent, even for people who are underweight or have a normal BMI. It's so hard to control this. And that's a reason why. Because naturally, our body is already producing up to 80% of cholesterol. Even you're sitting, okay, you're sleeping, your body is already producing that much of cholesterol. But some people may think that, okay, there's still a good 20% under my control, right? 20% is food related, right? Not quite. Because even though food is only a good 20%, but when we eat anything, it will stimulate our body to produce an additional 800 milligrams of cholesterol, as if producing 80% is not enough. So this is the reason why the genetic component of cholesterol management is very strong. And many people have a difficulty controlling it. If you don't take anything, okay, if you don't take any form of supplements to help us manage it, it is really just a matter of time that we'll be relying on statins really, or medication. Okay, in fact, statins is the #1 medication that in the world just to manage cholesterol. So that's how serious it is. So how can BioSlife C Plus effectively tackle this problem? So there are several methods. The first one is to go straight to the source, which is targeting the liver. So liver, whenever it comes in contact with a cholesterol enzyme, this is where it will start to produce cholesterol, right? So in order for us to cut this down, we have to inhibit this cholesterol enzyme. So in Bioslife C+, there's this active ingredient known as polycosanol, which can bind itself, okay, to this enzyme, hence reducing cholesterol production overall in the body. So the science behind this is so sophisticated that it shares the same pathway as how a medicine would lower cholesterol, except that it has no side effects, it's food-based, and it's safe for consumption. All right, this is how great Bioslife C+ is. And secondly, it will also block absorption in the intestines. So food, as always, will pass through small intestine for absorption. And in our intestine, there are receptors that help to absorb cholesterol. So whenever when a cholesterol molecule attaches itself onto this receptor, this is where cholesterol would increase in the bloodstream. So in Bioslife C+, we use plant stanols, okay, or plant sterols. Okay, this is a healthy type of cholesterol that will deceive the body into thinking that it is absorbing real cholesterol. But in reality, it's not. Okay, excess cholesterol that's not absorbed will be removed from the body. And we also want to tackle that 20% that comes from food. Okay, so the fiber matrix can also bind with cholesterol. Okay, whenever you eat whatever from food, and it can help to remove it from the body. So Bioslife C+ is truly not your ordinary supplement like fiber only. Okay, it has such a detailed mechanism on how it works and exactly at different parts and different sides of the body that can show tremendous results in improving your cholesterol levels. So here's an example on how it works. Okay, so this is a testimonial that we have for this, okay, where you can see there's elevated cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides. And by just consuming it consistently, okay, over a period of time, you can see that there is a tremendous improvement in the lipid levels. Okay, cholesterol level go down, LDL go down, and triglyceride decrease is very significant. It's almost a digit of a difference. So many people have to rely on medications to provide this kind of results. But with Bioslife C+, you can get this kind of results. You know, it's fantastic, truly. Okay? So if cholesterol itself is, you know, not convincing enough for you, we still have other Bioslife products that can tackle different problems. So we will go into weight loss and interest loss. Okay, we spoke a lot about it just now. So how does Bioslife S work? Okay, whenever we have high carb food, okay, as you know just now, we stimulate triglyceride, right? But it will also increase insulin production. So when insulin is very high, your sugar will just keep unloading itself into the fat cell. Okay, it will just keep storing itself uncontrollably. So over time, even though you are not eating anything, okay, you are not eating a single thing, but your insulin will always remain high. So when this happens, even though you are sitting, there's fat cells dividing, okay, they just keep multiplying in your body. So that's how fat percentage increase over time, okay? And the worst thing is, it will just keep multiplying. It will keep, you know, having more and more babies. And the sad thing about fat cells is that you can't just eliminate them. Okay, study shows that you can't literally burn off the fat cells. You can only make it shrink in size. So the only way is to maintain it and to not make it multiply even more. So the fiber matrix in Bioslife S, okay, is effective in such a way that it can reduce your insulin levels. So once that's down, okay, everything will go back to normal. So all this sugar has an opportunity to unload itself, to come out from your fat cells, and hence, allowing your fat cells to shrink. So this is how you're able to maintain healthy fat level and hence losing excess weight. So to show how effective this is, okay, we have another testimonial. Okay, and this is a person who has all kinds of issues, right, before taking BioSlife S. So his liver function is all over the place and having fatty liver, migraine, and it's all red color. Okay, everything is just not good. But after taking BioSlife S, in a short period of time, we can see a very dramatic difference. Okay, just in the mere June, July, in these 3 months, you can see that this has already improved so much. Okay, May, June, actually just 1 month can see lah. And all these other indicators all go back to the healthy range in just a short period of time. And also, his liver function all reverted back to normal, and all the pain that comes with it has also been solved. And we can also see that this person looks a lot better, a lot fitter, and it's obvious that the fat percentage has reduced. So BioSlife S is your solution towards managing weight and interest loss. So last but not least, we want to go into BIOS 7. Okay, this is the newest addition to our BioSlife range, and it has a very different technology that increases your good bacteria, and through that help to manage ideal sugar levels. So the main highlight behind BIOS 7 is the technology. Okay, it's the newest addition to our BioSlife range, and is this patented technology, which is Genomeceutical. So what is so special about it? So we have worked really hard. Okay, the US team have worked really hard to fight for a patent. So you can actually go into Google patent and search. If you type this number, you can see the patent for yourself. So this is exclusively only can be found in Unicity supplements. All right, we have patented this technology. So what's so great about it? So as this word suggests, there's this word genome, right? Basically, every process in the body is controlled by our genes. In fact, how much insulin is produced is actually controlled by our genes. How much growth factor is produced is also the genes. Tumor suppressor gene help to control tumor cells is also genes. A lot of things, in fact, everything is controlled by our genes. So there's this technology where they find that there's certain plant extract that can influence the microRNAs in the body. And there's a huge detail on how it can specifically control specific genes. Okay, and gene expression is something that we have to be very careful about, right? We want to increase positive gene expression, things that will benefit us. Okay, and we want to also switch off the genes that are harmful to us, such as inflammatory markers, all right, cytokines. Okay, these are things that will further harm our body and throw our metabolic health out of whack. So we have been able to have this technology that can give us a very well-balanced positive gene regulation. That the genes that are supposed to be activated is switched on, and the genes that are not supposed to be activated will be switched off. So there's this very well-balanced gene expression that can greatly benefit our metabolic health. So now, as of late, the study of genetics is really very popular. Okay, there's so much debate and there's so much research into this. And I'm very proud to say that Unicity is one of the first few companies that is ahead of its time. Okay, that we've already discovered ingredients. Okay, we don't have to manipulate anything in the gene, but the food that we eat can give us that kind of effect. That's not invasive, not harmful, but can help us to sustain long-term positive gene expression. So I think that's really a technology ahead of its time. And we're able to secure that before people are all jumping into the bandwagon. Okay, so this is something that's very, very special and exclusive to us. All right, so with this technology, we've also incorporated yeast, a very unique yeast fermentate, and a combination of fibers to give us fantastic results. So we can see here, before the bad bacteria is basically dominating a person's intestine. So by just simply taking it, okay, 2 times a day, we can already see such a drastic improvement in the type of good bacteria, as much as 58 times increase. So this is because there is the genomeceutical aspect in it. They can drastically improve and modify the microbiome diversity in our gut. And because of this, it can tremendously improve a person's sugar level. Okay, we also have people who have HbA1c who is like 8, okay, more than 7.5. And after taking it for just a period of 2 months, they're able to go back to 5. And in some cases, they're even able to taper off from medications. So our BioSlife products is indeed a fantastic product. Okay, and there's a good reason why it has been around for years and years, and it's our legacy product, right? So I hope you all still have a bit of brain space, okay? I just have a short 5 minutes just to talk a bit more detail into these 2 aspects. Okay, just bear with me. I know it's already 8:30. So we've already talked at length, okay, about how our BioSlife range can help us to manage these 2, and also a bit of this. But BioSlife, it can help, but it will not be able to go beyond what protein can do, okay? Because protein is really the solution that can, the building of muscle mass is indeed the solution towards overcoming the problem of fat percentage, and especially visceral fat, okay? So many studies, okay, have already established the fact in which protein is the most important macronutrient for fat loss. The most important. Why? Okay, because they show that people who eat more protein tend to carry less visceral fat. They don't store so much in their body. And higher protein diets increase fat loss. In fact, a study has shown that 76 to 78% of higher protein groups lost more than 70% of fat mass compared to normal protein group that is just maximum up to 45%. So we can see a very drastic difference. And this is just one out of the many other studies out there that shows similar findings. And just so that you can have a better understanding of the importance of muscle mass, here is a comparison of muscle and fat. Okay, so this is just the conversion. So 1 kg of muscles burns 13 kilocalories a day. So even though you are just sitting or you are sleeping, your body burns 13 kilocalories for muscle. And as for fat, it's only 5 kilocalories a day. Okay, it still burns some, but very little. If we put this into context, all right, if a person has 30 kg of fat, means he burns 150 kilocalories. But if a person has 30 kg of muscle, they will burn 390 kilocalories. So this is more than double of what compared to a person that has fat. And this is like, you don't do anything, you just sit down and you sleep. At rest, you're already burning so much more than a person who has high fat percentage. Okay? So this means that you will naturally burn more and your ability to reduce fat will be so much more significant. So in Unicity, we have a wide range of proteins to suit different types of needs. So this is for people who just want pure protein isolate, for those who have problem digesting lactose. So this is quite okay, actually it's quite good. They don't want to have fat and carbs. Something to add in addition into their current protein mix, this is a great option. And we also have protein for people who just want to have something a bit more full, a bit more substantial. Okay, there's a moderate amount of carbs, but a good amount of protein to make you feel fuller. So this is great for replacement meal, for weight loss. Okay, and this is for another group of people who are really into sports, who are looking into muscle recovery, into building, okay, to build more muscles. Okay, so that this is an option for them. So in reality, muscle mass is not just only about vanity, you know. Many people, when they think about protein, oh, it's for people who do bodybuilding or people who are very vain, who only prioritize their outer appearance. But as we see from the illustration just now, it is so important for metabolic health. Okay, you burn so much more, you can respond so much better to insulin, and it also reduces your other harmful indicators. Last but not least, exercise is very important also. Okay, anything you do, there'll even be greater results if you have exercise. So regular physical activity tends to burn visceral fat before other fat deposits. Okay, so you can burn visceral fat even more effectively. And after workout, your muscles are activated all over your body. Hence, it raises your average daily metabolic rate. It's pretty significant. So for all of us, okay, we are recommended to do at least a moderate intensity workout where your heart is beating, 30 minutes per day, 5 days per week, okay, if we can. But if not, just try to walk more, okay? Natural burning activities also we can do, all right, just to incorporate more of that movement into our day-to-day activities. All right, so we have all learned today, it's more than convincing enough to know that Unicity is the one-stop solution for everything related to metabolic health. Triglyceride, LDL, sugar level, body fat percentage, and visceral fat. Okay, it's really the most comprehensive and the most effective in terms of managing this situation. Okay, so I hope it's not too much information, and today's presentation is something that you are able to digest. Okay, I hope you have learned a thing or two. So now we are open to Q&A, if there's any Q&A. All right, anything you're curious about to know, you may feel free to drop in a question. Okay, thank you, Audrey Chow. Nice to meet you. Okay, you're lactose intolerant. Actually, you can try LC Build. We have filtered a lot of the lactose and it's very low carbs. So for some who are lactose intolerant, they're able to tolerate. But if lactose, okay, if LC Build can't work, you can also try soy protein. Okay, soy protein has 0 lactose, so that is also a very safe option. But I'll recommend LC Build first. Okay, so I hope I answered your questions. Okay, Mr. Narendra. Okay, thank you. I am glad to know that you enjoyed the presentation. Okay, is there a protein product other than soy protein? In terms of lactose, like I said, it's LC Build or soy protein. Yeah, these 2 options. If I have no metabolic issues, which BIOS Life would be best for me? I think BIOS 7 would be the best. Okay, because of the technology, number 1, and number 2 is from the microbiome. Right, from there it can establish very healthy insulin levels, okay, and blood sugar, and from there it can also influence a person to have good lipid levels in the blood as well. I think I would mostly go for that because of the microbiome capacity. Okay, you can do a lot to protect a person, okay, especially in the area of immunity as well. So I would go for that for sure. Okay, for someone who is already on statin and cholesterol is in the range, how can you know taking BIOS Life C+ help? Okay, this is a great question. Okay, for those who are statin and cholesterol, okay, it really has to depend on how serious, okay, is their condition. So there are some people who, after taking statins and cholesterol, they take, okay, that their blood readings get better. But there are some people that they are unable to taper off statins, unfortunately. Okay, once they take out statins, then immediately it will go up, okay, despite of the BioSlife C+. So for individuals who has very, very strong genetic history, if your mother have, your father have, and all in the family line, most likely this person would need to be on a statin for a long period of time. Okay, they can't just remove it. But for those people who maybe just one family, one person only, okay, and it's not straight in their family tree, and if the genetic component is not so strong, if they take out the statin and on BioSlife C+, they will be able to see a difference. And maybe from there, they can lower the statin and they can, taper off. So it's a bit of an experimentation, of course, and to see overall to monitor with the doctor to see if this person is suitable to remove statin or not. Okay, so it's largely really a very strong genetic component. Okay, so yeah, thanks, happy Women's Day to all beautiful women. Okay, so hi, after booster jab, somehow my body rejects LC build. Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, I think, what do you mean by your body rejects LC build? Okay, is there any form, in what way it rejects it? Okay, are you having a certain allergy reaction? So I think that's unlikely. Okay, it could be other things that happen along the way. It could be maybe right after jab, you go and take, okay, then maybe the side effect of the booster has not tapered down and it's not because of the product. Okay, that the booster does take a period of time for it to taper off. After that, when you take back your protein, it should be okay. Okay, because protein supplements and vaccine does not have any interaction. Okay. Okay, what happened to Essence? Is there replacement? So I know that this is actually a very difficult announcement for us to make also. Okay, you know that everyone is very attached to LC Essence and it's understandably so. But unfortunately, due to global discontinuation, and there's just a streamline in the R&D in the US to better position our products. So it's just a global decision that we have to discount LCSN. Okay, but not to worry, we are working on many other formulations that are coming up. So of course, existing, we already have many variety. Okay, we have vanilla, we have LC build, okay, soy protein. And we are actually working on the new LC base. Right? Because we know that as much as LC base is great, a lot of people have problems in terms of tolerating the formula because of its high fat content. Some people can't really tolerate. So they are working very hard to improve the taste and the acceptability, okay, of the product into our bodies. So they're also working into adjusting the taste to make it a lot more similar like real milk. So I think very excited for that. There's no set date on when it will be launched yet, but they are really working on it. The other day, they just told us that. So they are working on 2 flavors, LC based vanilla and chocolate. Yeah, so don't know when is it coming soon, but this is something that is very exciting in production. So we'll let you know, okay? Okay, is there any difference in the result if take BioSlife 10 minutes before meal and 10 minutes is there a difference in the result if take BioSlife 10 minutes before meal and 30 minutes before meal? Okay, ideally for the fibers to take effect, okay, after we drink and everything to take effect, it takes at least 15 minutes. Okay, it needs time, okay, to go into our intestine, into our liver. So best is 15 minutes. Okay, 30 minutes is still okay. But more than 30 minutes, the effect may be gone already. Okay, because fiber is still food, you get absorbed and you won't be there. So the golden hour will be 15 minutes and 30 minutes still okay, but more than 30 minutes is not recommended. Okay. Okay, so Miss Fala, if you have this problem with LC build, you may send me an email, okay, and we will see what we can do about it. All right. Okay, so looks like this is all we have for today. Okay, can we take BioSlife C when we're eating food halfway? That's not ideal because you want to have all the protection first before the food come in, right? So if you eat the food and you eat BioC+, it can still work, but it will not be to its fullest potential. So I think it's still best to follow the golden hour, 15 minutes before. food. Please hurry on the new LC-based formulation. Yes, we will try our best to hurry, okay? But no promises, don't know when it's coming yet. We hope it'll be soon. If a person has heart attack before, what unicity product is suitable? Is it because this person has a weak heart? Okay, if a person has a weak heart, have to see if he or she have any medications. So CoQ10 usually is important, okay, to help to strengthen the heart. Okay, a lot of statins, you will have to go with a CoQ10. Of course, Bioslife C+, this is a must, and omega-3. Okay, so these three is going to be very good, especially for those who has an episode before this. Okay, can differentiate between Bioslife C+, Bioslife S, and 7, not too sure which to get. Okay, that really depends, like I said just now in the presentation, it depends on your health goal. What is really your problem? Okay, if you think weight for you is a very important thing and you want to manage, you go with Bioslife S. If C+ is cholesterol, and if you currently don't have any metabolic issues, then 7 is the best alternative. Or if any sugar concern, okay, Bioslife 7 is actually very good. Okay, so great. I enjoyed your questions. We have a really great time interacting with you today. So thanks for attending, okay? And please join us next 2 weeks. Okay, we'll be continuing our topic of liver health. We have not spoke about this in detail before. So Linda will educate us what supplements can help to boost that. So thank you very much, and thanks for joining me today. So I hope to see you again soon, 2 weeks from now. Okay, bye. Have a great night.